Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sharing Your Drink with Matt. Today I'm talking to Queenslanders, 7 foot.
Okay.
There they are.
There we are.
Here we go. It's
Can
all
you hear
happening
that?
now. How are you?
Pretty good. What's happening there? You're a Wollongong, yeah?
Yeah. Don't hold that against me, but
No, hold on. I'm on Wollongong.
Mate, my brother-in-law's from Woonona.
okay, there you go. I'm actually a Palm Beach boy.
Oh, well, I'll hold that against you.
Excellent. So the normal fucking Molly Meldrum question to begin with, like, where'd the name come from?
I'll let you feel this.
Yeah, I can answer it like this. No,
He is the 7-foot sook.
I'm 7 foot. These guys are the Sooks.
Seven foot,
I've got about 50 names on the phone, and one of the problems we had was when we were getting together, COVID was going on, so we had more time than enough to think about it, and it just got to the point where it was stupid. And I got a bit of abuse for making a comment at band practice one day and got called a 7-foot sook, and did a bit of testing on the crowds, and there was a bit of positive reaction.
It was meant to be just 7-foot sook.
Yeah.
But old Russ here did the first print of stickers and managed to put a little S on it, so we all got branded the Sooks.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like when I first introduced you, because I interviewed the Rocks last. I fucked it again. I interviewed Rocks last week, and I ended up calling them the Rocks, and which is not the name of the band. It's just Rocks. And I should know that I've been listening to them since the early 80s, and I fucking, but that just slips in whenever it wants to.
Yeah.
Like an old girlfriend, mate. It's just there when you don't want it, but fucking, yeah. Anyway, all right. What was on the stereo the 7-foot sook? What was on the stereo when you were growing up? What were your parents subjecting you to?
Dad had a lot of classic Australian jazz, like what's that? I can't think of the guy's name, but clarinet players and stuff like that. And the one record I used to jump on all the time was Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it, man. How it starts off with one instrument.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, there's like 6 million instruments.
Yeah. And there was a volume to it that was, trying to cash in, that was never quite as good. But funnily enough, the last year, towards the middle of last year, I heard for the first time The War on Drugs, and I have a song which is the same thing. Starts with the guitar and just bits get added to it and stuff, and it's 2 chords, and it goes for like 15 minutes or something when they play it live.
And it turned out all right.
Oh, it's awesome. It's not my style of music at all in a lot of ways, but man, this song is just blows me away. Under the Pressure, it's called. But
okay, I'll have to look that up.
Check it out. Like it's a bit sort of prog rock.
Remember Tool? Remember Tool did that thing where they brought out 2 albums, and you had to play one album on one stereo and another album on another stereo at the same time to actually get the whole thing.
Yeah, you also had to do a little bit of acid as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Tour are a bit too technical for me, but
Fucking love Danny Carey.
Drummer boy's got a.
I was just about to say, so you're the drummer.
Yeah, that's it.
So what was on your stereo when you were growing up? And don't say Wiggles.
No, I'm too old for that shit. Man, I was subjected. Well, underline. My dad was big into musical theatre and whatnot, so a lot of classical, musical, and musicals. Then mixed in with your 50s and 60s rock and roll up to the Beatles. my mother would only listen to the Beatles, thinking they were the clean cut boys, you know. So my evolution of music completely revolted against what my parents were listening to.
Yeah, and the White Album was just done on acid.
Oh, mate, that was it. And fucking, my old man had a first pressing of the White Album. My grandparents had one of those old big stereograms.
Yeah.
And my grandmother, being a good Catholic, gave it away to St. Vincent de Paul when we said, fuck, that's all we want. She was losing at the time. And then my old man went up there and said, it's okay, you can keep the stereogram. I just want the records that were in that little secret drawer.
Yep.
The guys at St. Vincent de Paul go, what records? Fucking nah, never again. Never that. I was like, I'm off those pricks for sure.
It's heartbreaking.
Oh man, brutal. That was, that was my inheritance there, that White Album.
Yeah.
I've been reading a book at the moment about the Northern Soul thing going on in England, and it's like, I don't know much about the music or anything, but just the whole, this really sort of niche little group of people all just collecting rampant like demos and all this stuff and getting their hands on stuff that because it was so hard to get to America, it was hard to get these things. But if you could get there, you could go, like there's guys talking about like aircraft hangars just full of old, 45s and albums and stuff that they didn't want in America because it hadn't sold. Whereas in the UK, it was just this, it's so rare, and if you could be the person that finds it, so they were, paying like 5 and 10 cents for a single, and then taking it over to the UK and selling it for £50, and like and there were guys making livings out of it for like 10 years, like it's just
shit, yeah. I'm actually I found a new movie thing on Google that I downloaded, and for the last week I've just been watching Charlie Manson documentaries. Like, there's so many Charlie Manson documentaries. It's unbelievable, and none of them are telling the true story. It's a joke. So what's on your stereo now?
Well, funny you should say that, because I just finished reading a Black Flag, or Henry Rollins biography, not an authorized one, but he actually wrote to and was in community, like he communicated with Charlie Manson directly for quite a while.
Wow.
So I've been going on a bit of a Black Flag jag, DOA, and Black Sabbath. Actually, I just sort of kind of I've gone backwards. Like just before that, I was these guys. Have you heard of them?
I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them or heard much of their music, but I have heard of them, yes.
Yeah.
They're wicked.
Yeah. We have a saying, like we played with them a few times. They're pretty close to us up here on the Sunshine Coast. They're a little bit further south. But I always say, people say, what are they like? What are Gudgeon like? And I go, nothing prepares you for Gudgeon. So I might tell you anything other than they put out an album a month or two back, and it's different to them live, but it's unreal. They're such good, musicians, and they're just doing something different. And I'll put it, the closest I can give you an idea is like they play with us, and we're anywhere from pop punk to rock or whatever. But they also play at like hardcore extreme death metal, festivals and stuff like that. And the crowds just, when they see them, they love them. Like this weekend, they've gone up and played up in Rockhampton, which is like 500 kilometres away.
Yeah.
They just go out and do it. They're just, they love it. They're right on top of it, man. They're just
Rockhampton love their punk and metal pop, so they've gone to the right place.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing they aren't is not mainstream. They're just
All
they're
right, drummer boy. What are you listening to at the moment?
Mate, mostly of like when I had a little hit yesterday afternoon, I go back through all my SoCal punk. you know. So unfortunately, like as you get past a certain stage, there's not much new stuff going on the fucking radio, but I still go back to the old favourites and the old haunts every single time. So, well, I've been listening to a lot of NoFX lately because they're coming for their last ever tour.
Yeah, are you going to go Sam?
I'm gonna try my best, but I'm going back to work that week. It's the first week back at work, so they're on a Tuesday and a fucking Wednesday night, so it'll be a tough ass.
I've seen them a few times, and there's no way I'm gonna pay $190 for a ticket. And knowing Fat Mike, he's gonna do a fucking Johnny Farnham on us.
Yeah.
And give it 2 years, and they'll be doing a reunion fucking tour.
Oh no, he still wants to tour, but the rest of the band, like a guy I met a few weeks back at the Bronx show, he does merch for them, and he knows Melvin. He's good mates with Melvin, and he said,
"Oh, right.
Yeah, Fat Mike still wants to he still wants to do it all, but the other boys are like, we're fucking done, hey." Like, so
yeah,
Michael still do it as long as there's fucking money.
I think those two would want to play together, like they're best mates and shit.
I know. I love Smelly too, mate. Like, and he.
Yeah, well, you're a drummer, of course.
Always, yeah. Who's the best person about the drummer? Yeah. But he's like got a good little thing going on with shaping surfboards in California and stuff. So he's like, obviously he was had that 6 years on Dove song, but he's got a good little thing going on, man. He's shaping some nice boards, so I think he's quite content just sticking around and doing that. But
yeah, Mike did the rock star thing back to front, like he was totally clean for the first 30 years of playing, and then ends up becoming a heroin addict.
Yeah, he promotes that. He's like, don't do drugs until you're 30, and then do as many as you want.
Yeah, I heard him say one time. I think it was I saw it on YouTube, a live gig or something, and he goes, "Don't do drugs. If someone gives them to you, this is my address." Like,
yeah, exactly.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, definitely don't pay for them.
He got it back to front. Funny man. So did the music you were listening to as a kid, did that influence you into becoming a musician?
Did for me. Did for me. I discovered punk rock when I was about 12 years old, thanks to an older cousin. Played me a Pennywise album, and then I had fucking, I think the first on cassette I bought Smash by Offspring, and I grew up like in a pretty conservative, Catholic house, and then I heard fucking like Bad Habit, and I was like, what did that just say? What would that? And I was hooked.
Yeah.
And then
you stupid dumb kid, goddamn motherfucker.
Yeah, fucking, I was like, what? You can say that? Yeah, so I was hooked straight away from that. And the only drumming I ever wanted to do was that, just fucking 220 beats per minute, fucking as fast as I can. Not that I can, but I'll try to do that. But yeah.
Have you seen this female? I think they're from Tokyo. The female, the drummer. Right. She's mad, man.
Nuts,
I watched their whole set yesterday afternoon it was. I watched a whole set of theirs, and my fucking God, this girl just does not give up.
But man, I
know. Have you seen the Owen Guns before?
Who was that?
The Owen Guns.
Owen Guns. I haven't seen them, but I have. Yeah, I've been watching them a lot.
Well, their drummer's Asian, and they together they would just fucking, make music that pisses in your mouth like a angel or something. Just anyway. Favorite genre of music. Oh wait, did we both finish that last question?
I got it. Well, I I was desperate for the attention of a girl, so I loved whatever the pop music was when I was a teenager. And then when I was 15, I went to New Zealand and swapped houses with these people for a holiday. And this guy came over to our place in Brisbane, and he was like, "Oh, this place is unreal. Like, you got the train station right there, and you're like 10 minutes from town. And oh man, our place is terrible. You're gonna hate it." But anyway, like in my room, I've got like a little suitcase record player. I've got a few records there. You can play those records. And got over there, and these people lived on a town about 15 minutes out of, like, not even a town, it was like a village, about 15 minutes out of town on this beautiful crystal clear lake on the edge of a volcano. And it's mind blowing. And the records he had were, like, this was 1980, but he'd only just got his hands on like the Clash and Sex Pistols and the Damned, Joy Division. But the one that got me, he had a couple of Stiff Little Fingers records, and the one that got me was the second side of the live album, the Hanks, Stiff Little Fingers Hanks.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, yeah.
And Johnny was, and like 10 minutes, like everything that's wrong for a punk song, like just a story and everything. But it just was like the first time I ever heard a song that spoke about something that was real. And
everybody goes to Bob Marley wrote this, blah 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 blah, and he didn't.
Right, yeah.
His mother wrote it.
Right, yeah. It
was actually a folk song that Bob Marley's mum wrote. Yeah. It is one of the most amazing songs that a punk band could play.
Yeah. It totally, like, I just remember, like, I could take or leave, the other stuff to a point. Like, it was like, oh yeah, this is okay. But that song was like, it's this way or it's that way. And I came back, when I came back, because it just so happened with the New Zealand holidays or whatever, I missed out on the first couple of weeks of school when I came back in the grade 10. And I went from sort of hanging out with mates who were into the, top 40, 4IP it was back then, as our local, it was, I think they were in the same sort of conglomerate as 2SM or whatever in Sydney.
That every Sunday night.
Yeah. Well, it was Countdown and all that sort of pop music, and you had to know what that was to know.
I think it was 3 Triple M. Or 2 Triple M did a top 40 every Sunday night.
Yeah. Oh, this was before FM radio. I'm a bit older.
Yeah. I'm talking 82, 83.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, I came back and it wasn't like I totally ditched all my mates and stuff like that were there, but I gravitated towards a group of kids at school who were, they already had their own band and they were into, like, up here we had 4ZZZ radio, and it's back then particularly was, like it was just fantastic. You had these guys who'd come into they just play whatever new music. Like, it was genuinely DJs coming in who'd go to the record stores and they'd buy music, whatever was new. It didn't have to be, punk or indie or alternative or whatever. It's just whatever they liked. And so even if you'd have it going and the song would be playing and you go, oh, I don't really like this too much, but if I wait around till the next song, chances are it's going to be, something I will like. So I remember I used to, there'd be DJs that I just record, like, record on a cassette tape the whole show just to find out the 10 songs so you could find out, like what to go and get. Probably shouldn't say that, should I? But yeah, that's what happened with me. And then, like Stiff Little Fingers, and then I got, I was into all of the British punk, and Anti-Nowhere League toured up here with a support from X, the Australian band X, with Ian Ryland and Steve Lucas and Kathy on drums. Kathy Green, yeah. And they just blew me away. Like, up to that point, I was like, I didn't know anything about local music at all.
Yeah.
Although,
I saw them in Byron Bay
Yeah, I
And
was there at the piggery.
at the piggery, yeah.
Well, why didn't you say hello?
Because we both didn't have grey beards, probably.
No, you wouldn't know. Oh,
That was a mad night, wasn't it?
yeah, well, what I remember about it was Ian Ryan broke a string, and he just took the bass guitar off his old 50s P bass thing, put it down on the ground, and changed the string while Steve Lucas and Kathy Green just did the intro to TV Blue for about like 3 or 4 minutes, however long it took to do the string. He got it, tuned it, put it back on, looked at him, and just kicked into the song. And that was the moment that where I wanted to be a bass player. Like, you know, it might not have been you want to be a bass player, but it's like that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I loved her drumming. Kathy Green's drumming was just
amazing, man.
Yeah,
amazing. If she did, like, she was offered to drum for the Mothers back in the 80s, yeah, and she turned that down. And well, I guess the Mothers didn't make it. They didn't do shit. Either did Death Effects, but I think as a witch, Fiona Horn is making a lot of money. Just through her books.
You know what she's doing now?
Hey?
You know what Fiona's doing now? She's a pilot. She flies.
No fucking way would I get in a plane with her at the fucking wheel.
No, well, you like she's with remember the Hellman?
Yeah, fucking nice.
Yeah. Well, her and
Spit Brown, we're talking about that Hellman.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dave Hopkins, the guitarist.
Yeah.
He lives over in WA now, and him and Fiona are together, and they've got a band, like a stoner rock band called Sea Witch, which are pretty good. And then they also do like an acoustic guitar and
so they're together romantically.
Yeah.
If you leave her, she'll put a spell on you. She'll put a fucking. She'll curse you.
Yeah. No,
we're talking about a white witch here.
I saw her when I was 12 years old at a festival, and she put a fucking spell on me when I was 12, I'll tell you that much.
You will drum.
Yeah.
You are going to be a drummer.
Yeah, I definitely did something with my hands after seeing her.
Yeah. Those wooden spoon your mother hits you in the ass with, get them and just go.
Yeah. I got to be careful. I know too many people that know both of them, so I'm trying to be nice here. Yeah. Well, Mothers. I remember because you were.
Yeah, that was great. They were great. I remember seeing them at the Peterson one night with Splatterheads and Space Jam.
Yeah. And I remember seeing a lot. I lived in Sydney around that sort of mid '80s to late '80s. For 3 or 4 years.
I was living in a 3-story squat house on Cleveland Street.
Oh, right. Yeah. So the trade union club and
trade was brilliant.
Yeah, I remember like a couple of New Year's Eves at the trade union club where they'd have bands on all 3 levels, and you just go up and then mate, didn't make the mistake of getting too messed up early in those nights because there were some days where we'd pull out of there at like 6 o'clock in the morning and trying to vampires in the sun. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was like oh fuck, I can't even remember what year it was, but I'd fucking been on the speed for about a week. I hadn't slept, and we went to the trade union, and the Splatterheads came out in all the Splatterheads gore. Like Adrian had fucking baby pins in his skin, holding on condoms full of blood, and Sly had blood just dripping down his face, and it put me in hospital. I hadn't slept for like a week. And these cunts put me in hospital. I had a fucking bad panic attack, man, seeing that. They're just like, oh, fuck me. Anyway, we're getting a bit off track here.
Oh, no, mate. I love that Splatterheads. They're good Brisbane boys. I saw Mickey up here.
And they're mad. Bit of a secret that the whole world's going to find out anyway. They're going to do a reissue of Bot.
Right. Yeah.
And I think they're going to actually not do they're going to re-record it.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool because they were like a really big influence on me understanding how music went, how to put songs together.
Yeah.
I remember one time talking with Mickey and him saying, yeah, like they put out the record.
Medium.
The one with
Medium.
You know the Splatterheads record with Bulldozer?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were doing that. And I remember him saying to me, like, yeah, we had this song and it was just like, we knew it was a good song, but we just couldn't pull it together. And we were trying stuff and we had it for like a year or 2 years and it just was doing our heads in. And then somebody walked past when we were practicing one time and said, no, forget about that bit, just go from this bit. And it was actually taking a bit out and the song just went, boom, and just, yeah, it was unreal. I just remember, yeah, okay. So I don't, like, sometimes you know, like a song might not work because it's got too much in it. And that's what we've taken on board. We keep it pretty simple.
Yeah. I think Fish Biscuit is the anthem to the 80s underground punk.
Yeah. Oh, look, them.
What was it? A world famous monkey tried to net a bridge across the river that didn't flow. What the fuck is that? I've asked, because we're on Messenger, and I've asked. I wrote it down. And I said, "This is what I think this means," and Adrian goes, "Well, this is what I think this means," and then Sly, who wrote the song, said, "I can't even remember what the fucking thing means," but it was a good line, and it is a good line.
Oh yeah, look, Sly's. I've known him. Like he moved to Sydney a couple of years before I did, but he was mates with mates.
About 86, hey?
Yeah, Insane Hombres. Ever heard of them? Insane Hombres.
Yeah.
I used to live with the singer, share a house with the singer, and so he, they knew them pretty well and stuff. But yeah, Sly was. Yeah, I remember one time. When Guns N' Roses first started blowing up, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's not proper heavy metal," blah blah blah. And I said to him, "What do you reckon?" And he goes, "Nah, I reckon they're great." What do you mean? He says, "Nah, Tattoo's in the top 40, all right by me." Like, what would you rather have? And that was the point. What would you rather have? Like you could have, full of manufactured pop stars, or you could have these. Yeah, it was rock and roll, but at least it came from people that play their instruments and stuff. So
exactly. Have you seen the song with Slash playing for Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
And Michael was like fucking nearly kicking him off the stage. He's going, "Stop!"
You remember the fucking smile and Slash's face? Michael Jackson's
that was terrific, man. Like that was an iconic moment in rock and roll history, I think.
Yeah. No, I should be brought up.
So what is your favorite genre?
No, convoluted. Well, I'll make it short. Rock and roll that's fast.
Yeah.
I won't say punk because I like fucking metal as well, because it's fucking anything where the drummers are going at it, I like it. Sure I've had my hippie stages where I listened to fucking John Butler and Ben Harper and stuff like that, but
you go to the band.
He's not that bad. He's not that bad, John Butler. Yeah. I used to live across the road from him in Sarawak Cove on the Gold Coast.
Okay.
He's got this thing. I'm married to an Aboriginal woman, and he brought out I don't know, I can't remember which album. I think it had Zebra on it or something, but he used the makings of that money to go to the Aboriginal community, so their medication is paid for.
Right.
Because, like, couriers, I go, oh, being the doctor, you got medication. I can't afford to fucking buy that and walk off and be sick. So he made it so these guys will go, okay, I've got my medication. I think that was beautiful, man. Like a great benefit.
Sunrise Overseas, that album. I know he did that. He's that kind of dude. I mean, he started as a busker, like on the streets of Bustleton in WA, and then he was. I mean, he's a fucking good dude and a guy fucking Wales.
Murray. Sorry, I just had to say Murray's because my producer just sent me a message saying, are there Curries in Queensland? I said, no, Murray's.
Yeah.
So sorry for interrupting.
That's all right.
My producer's American, so
Professional.
Yeah. What can I say? I'm waiting for a big abusive fucking message coming up now. I was talking and saying the word cunt. Okay, it said shut up now, cunt.
Well, someone's got to
worst. Oh no, you've already said what your. Now, who said the last genre that you liked?
I'll let him talk first, and then I'll take over.
He did go to answer, but then he just went into a fucking 30-minute tirade about something else.
I don't know. Like I listen to a lot of stuff. It depends on what's going on at the time. So anything, I like to go back to the Stooges and even like sometimes early.
Just a genre, mate. Just a genre.
Just a genre.
Yeah.
Just rock, man.
Rock and roll. There you go.
There we go. Bass guitar, man.
It's all happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've said this on this show so many times. People are just going to go, oh, fucking hell, we said it again. But there are gems in every genre. There is a gem in every. I watched this thing. What's the name? Casey Chambers.
Yeah.
With a banjo.
Yeah.
Doing Eminem's Losing It.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yep. At the Newcastle.
Yeah. What? Like, I hate country music and I hate fucking R&B, rap or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But she just kicked it, man.
Yeah.
She fucking kicked it.
Yeah.
So what's the worst genre? What can't you listen to?
Anything K-pop or electronic or auto-tuned.
Yeah.
It's just.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah, my youngest son is he comes to all of the punk rock shows up here and stuff, and has a great time. It goes off, and then he just listens to like just inane, and his mates are saying, like, why do you let him listen to this? Can't do anything.
I fucking had all my mates in my 20s, like a few of my close mates in my 20s that we got connected. They were all fucking DJs. And the amount of fucking times I had to go and just fucking put up with, like I loved like some of the 90s electronica like fucking Underworld and fucking shit like that. But then I just fucking the amount of just shit techno that I've had to listen to in my life. So it's gotta be that fucking tech house and break beats and techno. That's I can't fucking stand it anymore.
I stole my daughter. She had a fucking alcoholic attack last night, so I ended up stealing her bottle of Jim Beam. I'm confiscating that. Go to bed. And then she woke up this morning. I said, you smashed it. You threw it at the wall. It smashed, and I've been drinking it all fucking morning. Don't let your 16-year-old drink.
Oh no.
Oh, well, yeah, I actually let your 16-year-old drink because you get to end up stealing the rest of what they're drinking.
Well,
How long have you guys known each other?
6.
5 or 6.
All right, 6 years.
Yeah, I rescued his dog.
Yeah.
Was that you saw need drummer or need bass guitarist or anything like that, or did you just meet under different circumstances?
Well, I was working a couple of days a week making coffee in a place, and Russ was the town postie. So I always wore band t-shirts for the fucking reason you wear band t-shirts, to find people that are like-minded and you talk about it. That's why I tell my nieces and nephews. And he would stop by the cafe. He'd pull up on his fucking postie bike right in the middle of the cafe. And I'd have a band t-shirt on, so he started talking about it, and then you tell the rest.
Yeah, I was. You remember?
This is my world. Motorbike consistently, mate. My son's got one, but I've got it locked up in storage because in 1 week he blew the tire 4 times, just burning out. And I thought, no, fuck, I'm putting it in storage, not riding it till I'm gonna let you ride it.
You remember the hard-ons had a roadie, Andrew Gillies? You remember Gillies?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, well, me and Gilsey were getting a band together up here, and we played. We jammed a few times, and I was like, yeah, cool, because I've known Andrew, like he. I was going to be the roadie for the hard-ons, and he ended up getting it because I came back to Brisbane, so he became the guy who went all over the world and stuff. But Andrew and I were getting a band together, and then he died, and I sort of went, well, I'm not going to say no to anything ever again. Like, you never know how long stuff's going to happen. So I ended up in a band up here that I didn't really like the music, but I just was happy to be playing bass guitar, and it was they were really good musicians and really good blokes, but it just wasn't my thing. And so I just started keeping an eye out for people, and like Mark said, like I said, hey, do you play an instrument? Hoping he played guitar. And he's like, nah, I'm a drummer. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool. And then literally like 50 meters from where the cafe was, there was a bloke who delivered the parcels in a van, the Australia Post. And he was listening to pretty cool music one day, and I said, oh, do you play an instrument? He goes, yeah, I'm a guitarist. I've been in a band that's recorded stuff. So we got together literally in my garage with I think we had a list of 5 or 6 songs that we kind of learnt, and went together pretty well. And thought, okay, let's get sort of semi-serious. So we started going out to a proper rehearsal studio, and it was the 3 of us for a while, me, Mark, and Brett. And I was singing, and but I could barely play bass guitar, let alone play guitar and bass and sing. And I had a friend who kept saying, "Oh, you got Tony's really good. He's a really good singer and guitar player. Get together." And he was like also within about 50 meters of where I met Mark. So all 4 of us in the band at that point met within this tiny little space. And Tony, he plays guitar, really good rhythm guitar and singing, and he writes songs and stuff. So he came in, and then we recorded some stuff as a 4-piece. And Brett just sort of, just had things going on and just made it a bit hard. So we compressed, and that's where we've been ever since. So we timed it really well. Like, we got together just before COVID, and just as we were ready to play, COVID cut everything off. And then as it was sort of lifting back up, we were booked to play a show in Brisbane. It was going to be our first, like we played a party or two. And then that was the first weekend Brisbane got shut down again after being opened up. So like if like we went for a couple of years before we got to play properly in front of people and stuff.
That's usually one of my questions. Like, how did you go through the pandemic? Like, were you Zooming each other and playing, or?
I mean, we're in Queensland. We were fucking sweet.
It was pretty good because there were sort of lockdowns, but for me, it's like we all live pretty near the beach, and it was good because it's sort of.
What part of Queensland are you from?
Sunshine Coast. We're
Nice.
Northern end of Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Oh, mate, it's so good. It's not that good. It's horrible. Don't come.
When you were younger, did yeah, Jeff, I'd love that, man. Sorry. He's just asked me if I want a bottle of something. But yeah, he's in Melbourne, I'm in Sydney. I don't know how that works. But yeah, no. Fuck, see? Me rambling just on that. Now I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, fuck.
Something about where we live.
Hey?
COVID.
Something about where we live or COVID.
Yeah. The Sunshine Coast, that's mad. Did you ever play at the Playroom in any of your bands?
I'm too young for that one, man.
I didn't play at the Playroom, but yeah, I raided for the Hard Ons and Rifles and Hellman and Rollins. Rollins band we played there.
So is Tim Steedman a prick?
Tim Pittman or Kent Steedman?
Oh, fuck, it's Pittman.
Tim Pittman's the manager for the Hard Ons.
Yeah.
And then Kent
Is he a prick? Is he still managing him?
He still does some stuff with him. Yeah, I've never had any problems with Tim. I know people that do, but yeah, Tim and I get on pretty well. Like I don't see him that much anymore.
Like I've tried to talk to him a few times at like Petersham, the Hope Town, Lansdowne. I've tried to speak to him a few, and he was just so rude.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's funny because it's a different thing. Like I've got people who, like one of my mates up here says, "Oh yeah, like I ran into this bloke, and he was just an absolute asshole to me, and I've never seen that side. Not Tim. This is somebody else." And I've just gone like, that is just not this person the way I know them, and it's just so, yeah. I mean, like I just put it down to sometimes people have bad days or whatever, or there's something going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. But if it happens like 6 times in a row, kind of start getting the idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can only go on happy.
If she says fucking, no, you get her a box of fucking Panadol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I heard, like people just coming up to people in bizarre places, like yeah. I don't know. I get it sometimes. Like you get like sometimes if you're trying to do something and somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Oh man, how you going?" "Oh man, I'd love to talk, but I've got to do this or whatever." And I just okay, whatever. But yeah, you're right. Like if it is happening, you're getting on the reg. It's a bit distracting.
Well, you're not far from the Gold Coast, so you guys should make it down to Broadbeach.
Vinny's.
February the 27th. Remember Mark Welsh?
Yeah. Well, they
had a nice day. Test the Fanatics.
Yeah.
His solo project, which was the Welshman.
Yeah.
He's actually got a band together.
Yeah.
With Steve Dennett, like with a Lizard Kings guy.
Yeah.
You got to make. I'm in Wollongong, so there's fuck all chance that I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to make it there. Take some photos and send them to me.
Oh, for sure. I'm planning on going to that anyway because like
Oh, no.
I moved to Sydney at about the same time as Asylum did, and I'd seen him on the Goldie a few times.
It's
And
Bombay Rock.
yeah, hey, oh, you guys are Queenslanders, cool. And they were the first band that I roadied for. Like I did a tour I had an old HR station wagon that loaded all their gear in, and they did a tour with Celibate Rifles up to the Sunshine Coast. Played at the Playroom and Brisbane, and it was just classic rock and roll, sleeping on couches, and it was unreal. Like and through that, meeting the Celibate Rifles, and then getting a bit of not work. It wasn't work. I mean, I was going to see the shows anyway, and you get for nothing and get to drink a few beers. Like it was, it was perfect life for me.
Hey, if you ever make it down to Wollongong, I'll get you a gig. Like, I'll get you a gig tomorrow. But, I'll get you a gig. I'll get you a place to stay.
We're
like rocking down here, man. Like,
yeah, well, we're really keen. Like, it's
Sydney happen well for you.
We can get pretty cheap flights from here to Newcastle. So, if we can line up a show at the Lincoln Pin in Woy Woy, and then something in Sydney, yeah, something in Sydney, and then something in Wollongong, and then drive back up. There's a few people that are really interested, and there's bands we know up here like Punctilious and
I've interviewed Punctilious. Oh, wait 1 sec. Joe drinks vodka, Jeff. Back to you. Yeah. Like, fuck, man. If you ever want to come down, you got accommodation. You got a place on the bill for Sydney and for Wollongong.
Sweet. Well, I saw Hoon when they came up here. Love them. Hoon? HOO. They're unreal. So good. They were just like, they played in a place that we started playing, which was it was the old Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? And the venue was the old freezer room. So to get into where the band played, you had to pull open a big, magnetic
cold room door,
insulated door, and the stage was actually like a booth, and he used to play on it.
Worst drummer.
Just enough room for the drummer.
Oh,
worst
it was
drummer.
like a booth at a diner, right? When we first played there, it had the seats around the edge of it, and it was just a sheet of plywood, or maybe 2 sheets of plywood across the top of it, sitting on that. So it kind of rocked a bit, and it was low roof, so we'd be going to hit the crash and the ride cymbals and be hitting the roof, and once he got in, you couldn't get out.
Yeah, you have to remove one of my cymbals, get in, and then they'd have to put it there for me.
Oh no!
I was stuck for the rest of the show.
It was, and we're a 3-piece and we hardly fitted on it. And Hoon played there and ended up with the singer mostly spending his time just out on the floor. But
a 3-piece and you couldn't fit on the stage.
Yeah. And it had they had the bolt-on seats, right? So the bolts came up from the floor and got screwed on so that they wouldn't fall over, right? So they'd taken that out. But the first time we played there, they hadn't sanded off the bolts that were sticking up. So if you stood in the wrong place, you'd get, like 1.25 inches of bolt through your heel or something like that. It was lethal. But it's such a fun little venue.
Yeah. The band Thrust?
Yeah. Thrush.
Yes.
Yeah, with Brendan and
Theo.
Yeah.
I've got this somewhere. I got this demo tape for when Brendan from Thrust was the drummer for the Hard-Ons.
Yeah.
They were called the Dead Rats.
Yeah.
And it was Kesh on vocals, Brendan on drums, Ray and Blackie doing what they do.
Oops.
There's so much good music back in the 80s on the Gold Coast. It was unbelievable what
Oh, yeah.
shit was
Yeah.
happening, man.
You remember Blister?
Who?
Blister?
Brista, yeah, fucking nice. You're the guy. You're the guys trying to understand it.
Yeah. Oh, I got one of their CDs, and every now, like it pops up every now and then. It's like, geez, these guys are good. They're good. But
Yeah, the drummer went to Friends of Rom.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I didn't know them. I just knew they were a really good band. They kind of, they had a little moment where they were playing, and then they just disappeared. But Brendan from Thrust is living up here on the Sunshine Coast now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he runs a like a gym fitness store, like selling the gear, not an actual gym or anything, but yeah, he's been doing that for years.
Well, if you ever run into him, because I've been messaging Sean and Theo.
Yeah.
I want to do an interview with Thrust.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know I can't do the 4-piece Thrust.
Yeah.
Because fucking Jason's gone somewhere. I don't know. I haven't heard from him for fucking years. But if you ever run into Brendan,
yeah,
hook him up, man. Because like I used to pretend to roadie for them.
Yeah.
Like they play at the Playroom and at the Patch and at the Jet Club and at Bombay Rock and fucking Currumbin Hotel.
Yeah.
And I'd get in because I held Theo's guitar while I was walking through the door. I made sure. Like they were a couple of years older than me.
Yep.
We went to school at Miami High together, but they were older.
Yep.
They were a good band, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's it. Like all of those bands, there were a lot of the bands that were kind of, they were just mucking around and stuff, and sometimes they were really good. Some of them just had it, but yes, those bands. Like Asylum were such a good band musically. Like,
Mark is just. He made me the best Charlie Manson shirt, airbrushed it. Fucking, it is magic, mate. Like the guy illustrates surfboards.
Yep.
His first album, he played drums, guitar, bass, rhythm guitar, vocals.
Yeah.
He fucking tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, what can't this cunt do? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, there's a bloke that's better. You ever meet a bloke called Stuart Patterson?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about.
This bloke loves him because he doesn't know he loves him, but he left school when he was 15 and he had to choose between becoming a surfboard shaper with Gordon and Smith in Cronulla or joining the Sharkies.
Hey, up the Sharkies.
And Pato.
Hey, if I said to you, you've got the opportunity to put 5 bands on a gig, and we're talking about alive, dead, not playing, fucking you got 5 bands for your bucket list gig. Who wants to go first, and who are the 5?
Oh, Jesus.
Time to think about it.
I'll go.
This is not how to be a millionaire. You're not allowed to converse.
I'll go Stooges, Hard-Ons, Saints, Celibate Rifles. Where we got Stooges, Hard-Ons, Saints, Celibate Rifles, and Husker-Du. There you go. I won't think, I'll just say.
Sounds fucking mad, except you got to chuck yourself in.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm roadieing.
Well, yeah, mine would be easy. I would have Minor Threat for sure. I would have Black Flag with Henry Rollins. just because that would be fucking amazing. Pennywise with Jason,
Ah,
who has
fuck.
passed on with the original Pennywise lineup with Jason Matthew Thirst. That would be number three.
One we lost.
But then you don't get Brohim.
It's another
You
one
get
we
Bro-
lost
you
with a
get
heroin
Brohim.
overdose.
He won't play it because
Brohim was before. Brohim was from the first album.
Yeah. And he died of a heroin overdose. Just like fucking, yeah.
He died from a gunshot. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was,
Yeah, fuck,
it
yeah,
was
he was
heroin.
He was all fucked up. He had it. He went
Same as the guy from Sublime, Mark.
Bradley Knoll.
Bradley Knoll.
Brad, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that we've lost.
Yeah.
You know, Chris Cornell, all these fucking legends that we've lost because of drug addiction and depression.
Speaking of another person we lost, but a band that I would definitely have on the list would be the Jimi Hendrix Experience with Mitch Mitchell.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Sorry, I don't have the bass player, but yeah, with Jimmy, I'd have that, and then as the fifth band, fucking hell, I don't know.
You know, they tried to do a reunion sort of kind of tour, the Experience, and it didn't even make it off the books. Like,
His fucking estate
who
would
was going to get to play guitar?
Yeah. His
You know, no one's going to go see these guys if Jimi Hendrix is not playing.
Yeah. And plus his fucking
I wouldn't.
His family would block it anyway. They're fucking pricks. But
Yeah.
no, but not that that's allegedly pricks.
Yeah.
And the Sooks, mate. You've got to have the Sooks finish. But the 7 foot Sooks would open the show because then I'd get to watch all the other bands and drink piss.
That's it. Yeah, definitely. What's your favourite song for 2023? I'm giving him an aneurysm.
No, it's just that, like,
I'm in my brain.
Yeah, no, it's a really nasty question, Matt, because the bands that I played most from last year are all mates of ours, and so whoever I say, someone else is going to be put out. So I'm putting on a show up here this afternoon with One More Billy, Square Tugs, and Kathleen Turner Overdrive.
Lizzie is the best. Have you heard about the tour I put together with her and the Canadian band?
Yeah.
Mate. At least they got to play Canada and Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But like, I was there the night it went down, and fucking, it was disgusting, mate.
Yeah.
It was disgusting, and I don't know. I felt responsible because I hear yeah, okay. My producer saying no, fucking don't get into it.
Yeah. Oh, look.
I gotta say, these fuckwits that I interviewed for 4 hours once, 3 hours another time, and then I interviewed them and KTO together and got that fucking tour happening. Once everything was set in place and they had all this tour fucking happening, they just dropped me.
Yeah.
They dropped me. And I was sitting there at the bar. Oh, no, not at the bar. At a table just near the stage. They were playing. It was disgusting anyway. And I just felt so responsible. But they ended up doing fucking open mics for the rest of their tour.
Right.
Like, this was the Canadian band's Punks and Pirates tour. They got Melbourne, Sydney, and the rest of the tour they had to go to open mics every place that KTO, Forklift Assassins,
Yeah.
Every place those guys played, Master Nate were fucking around the corner playing at a fucking open mic. How can you get kicked off your own tour? It's just got me fucked, man.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie American Satan? Is that kind of bullshit?
Yeah.
You know, you getting kicked off your own tour.
No, it was really weird. Like we're pretty good mates with Nathan, who was with
Yep,
KJ at that point, but
it's
his
the beard, like
yeah,
yours.
we're actually brothers.
A beautiful man.
Yeah, he's an amazing.
He's a legend.
He's got a band called Tawny Hawk.
Yeah. I've got them for an interview in a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
they're fucking great.
Yeah, they're scary good. They're like yeah.
Yeah,
they're what we aspire to be like.
Oh.
If we could be as together as them, that'd be good. But
fucking tight.
Yeah, Nath. Yeah, I've run into a few times, and he's just so laid back and stuff. It's but well,
Danny the drummer's got his own band now.
Anthony. Danny. Sorry, Danny. So I'm talking about Nathan's drummer from Tawny Hawk. Yeah, Danny's moved to Brisbane and he's doing stuff. I haven't seen the band, but I've seen a bit of word around on the streets.
And yes, he's throwing the word around, fucking left, right, and center.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a showman, man. Like he's he's
he's living a rock star life. Definitely rock star life.
Yeah, he's one of those drummers that you can't take your eyes off. A bit like this bloke. He sits there all quiet. He puts his hat down. He puts his head down. He doesn't know what's going on. But the number of people who come up to me afterwards and say, "Oh, bloody hell, drummer goes all right. I'm there too. I'm playing."
Yeah. So what's happening for 220? Because this is coming out. Jeff, is this coming out today or tomorrow? I'm just making shit he's got to edit it out. He hates this, man. He's got to watch this whole interview all over again and cut out me being a fuckwit. Jeff, I can't even remember the question. Fuck. What did I ask him?
What's happening this year?
Yeah, when's the interview coming out, Jeff? He's either filling his glass, getting a beer out of the fridge, or he's on the pisser.
Well,
all right. You're a journalist, guys. What and you got to answer this each. You got to do a right. You just went and saw 7 Foot Sooks. You got to do a write up. What would you say?
I have to do this, don't I? I'll make up all the bullshit about us. They might not be the best musicians out there, well, drummer aside, but everything we play, we put everything into. There's some bands that are really good technical and they understand all music theory and all those sort of things, and but there's no feeling to it. It's all like I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do, whereas we just play with what you feel good. And so we've probably chucked out as many songs as we play because they don't feel right to us, and if we don't do them, but
What do you like playing the most?
The practice room.
No, I mean up here on the coast. Where it's now it's like sort of progressed to we've finally got into Nambour scene, which is Nambour's got a fucking wicked little punk scene. I like playing up here. Yeah.
You wouldn't know that, man. I've been to Nambour. You wouldn't think there'd be.
No, there's more venues in Nambour now than there are that will play us
within
like 5 minutes walk of each other than there are on the whole of the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah,
we played Rotten Fest, and which was, I think there were 10 or 11 bands, punk rock bands, you know, went from 1 o'clock till in the afternoon till 10 o'clock at night, and it went off. It was like,
That was the best ever.
yeah, 200, 250 people in a room.
Where
And
was that?
big bud,
Where was that?
Nambour.
At Commercial Hotel,
Oh,
mate.
you actually did Nam. Wow, and you got like a fucking big crowd.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it was
Sold out.
yeah. The guy,
Steve from One More Billy put it on.
he's the best guy. Like, you know, One More Billy.
He is best on ground when it comes to the scene up here. Like he goes.
So that looked after you.
It's just he's like, we love One More Billy. We played with them. One of the first shows we played.
Most of the show. We played more shows with One More Billy than anyone else, or maybe Square Tugs.
And I'd play with them fucking every week. And but Steve's just this. He's such a contributor to the scene, and he's at everyone's shows, and he's always promoting everyone. And he's just a cannot say too many good things about this guy, Steve.
Yeah.
He's
just, him and there's a couple of guys actually that are up here that are really good. Like Aaron from Bad Habit Records is worth. Yeah, Aaron and Phil who do the Bad Habit Records, and Mark Tyler is in a band down the Gold Coast called Used Goods.
Yeah, fucking oath. And he's got he's got an ad from my show in his bugle.
Yeah. And there's another.
He's a fucking legend.
Yeah.
And he's another Mark, so of course he's a fucking legend.
No, he's brilliant, man. He is fucking brilliant.
Yeah. And there's another young kid up here, Curly. Just, you know, he's early 20s, but he's working. He just loves music. He's grown up with music. His dad had a recording studio, practice studio, and he put. I don't know if they got to Wollongong, but Macca from the Cosmic Psychos and Pat Todd from the Pat Todd did a like solo acoustic thing, and this young kid put it on. Put them, you know, I think they played in Adelaide, Melbourne, Sydney, you know, up here. He put all that together, and he's helped us out a heap too. You know, like there's some really good people helping out. Well, that's a weird one.
Sorry, guys, it's pissing down with rain. I'm going to walk inside.
It's supposed to be raining up here today, but it's pretty good. Yeah, it's fucking.
This is the motorbike my son rides.
Oh, Green Machine.
He's 11. He rode a 450 the other day. Couldn't reach the pedals, but or the ground, but he fucking rode it like a legend. Sorry, mate. I've got to come inside because I won't be able to hear you with all the fucking rain happening. Oh shit! I left me smokes out there. You do know this show's very unprofessional, don't you?
Oh, this is the first time you mentioned it.
That's what editing's for, man.
Least of our worries.
That's my excuse anyway. Alrighty.
I need a fucking smoke too. I can't smoke inside.
I guess nearly on our way to finish.
Having too much fun.
But I'm enjoying having a chat. Yep. I had someone review my show and they said it's like a bunch of guys sitting at the pub talk music. And that's what we're doing.
That's some of the best. I had a night like that in Melbourne. A mate of mine, Yeti, he's a guitarist in Vicious Circle.
Oh wow.
And me and him and this other guy who owns a studio in Melbourne, like we went and saw a band at the Bendigo, and we went in and we're like, oh, it's pretty fucking brutal. And we walked, and it was so loud, and we walked out to the little front bar at the Bendigo, and the three of us just sat there for fucking probably 3 hours, and all it was just talking about music and bands. Fucking best night ever.
Yeah, fucking oath. That's all the conversation should be. Music, bands. I can open the door. Someone stole me bourbon. Who the fuck? And there's no one here. That's fucking weird, man. I've put it somewhere. Yeah. Did you when you? Probably not a good question. What was I going to say? When you were starting up, old fella, did you get any advice that you've brought through, the years?
Yeah, well, just I think the main thing was to be serious about the music, not so much about yourself.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Like I reckon, like when we played that Rotten Fest at the Commercial Hotel, I think that was one of the best we've ever played together because we could hear each other pretty well, and the crowd was going off, so we kind of really everything just came together. Whereas a lot of the times where you get in front of people, sometimes it doesn't work as well as you want. You kind of, I couldn't do it, and you're all a bit off it. But I just love, I love practicing. Like there's so many times when you get into a practice room and you just, even if you haven't been in the room for a while, everything comes together, and that just feels so good. So it's just trying to capture that moment of like, how do you get that moment in front of people so they can get it? And I know as a punter, when you're watching a band and they're, fuck, this is unreal, and they come off stage and they're like, oh yeah, we were a bit off, and it was really weird, I couldn't hear it properly or whatever. But yeah, I just want to, like, if we can do that, that's what I want to get the band to do. Like, it doesn't have to be like, there's a difference between being like the Cosmic Psychos, like saw them the other week with Zeke, and like
Yeah.
mind blowing, like
What
how
was that like? Just like, what did it? What did it? It was like the Ramones all over again.
But the Ramones times two, like they were heaps far. Like it wasn't even that. It was, like between songs,
Yeah. It was like, fuck, man.
And that was so good. It was like, I don't know. Like I think they played like 35, 40-minute set, and they must have played close to 100 songs. It felt like it was just
easy.
But yeah, just to be that together as a band, what you're doing to put it out there. So that even if you're having a bad night, people are looking at you going, fuck, that was unreal, and having a good time. And that's, I think, some days we get it better than others maybe, but we're working on it. I don't know. What else do I tell you?
Do you have kids? You have one of yous?
Not that I know of.
I got two boys, and the worst thing about it is the older one's a drummer and the younger one's a bass player, and he's way better bass player than I've ever been.
Oh, knuckles, man! I've been trying to get my kids in. I've got 8 kids, and I've been trying to get any of them into music. My 14-year-old's learning to play the guitar. She's the only one that listens to my music that I like, and the rest of the fucking things, kinds of things, man. The rest of them just listen to rap and or that shit. And I don't know. I put on World War 24, and it's a song called Dykes, and they go, my wife goes, this is disgusting. Fucking punk is so fucking pornographic. And I go, yeah, right, whatever. And I walk out of the room, and then you hear, come and suck my dick, cock. My fucking dick, bitch, cock. Yeah, what? No.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me.
I married my wife, and I said to her very early on in the piece, I said, what sort of music do you like? She said, I like everything. I'm pretty easygoing. And within about 2 weeks, she was like, "Yeah, I like everything except what you like."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, I got to walk around the house with fucking ears, earphones on.
yeah,
It's wrong. I love it. I love it when the wife takes the kids motorbike
Yeah.
riding or surfing or whatever, and I get the house to myself and I put on a fucking a good time Aussie Boggliers. You heard of
yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of Punk as Fuck Radio?
Yeah. Fucking nice. With
Yeah,
Hammond.
Yeah, well, he played one of our songs the other week, and the Boggliers
Yes.
were the song after us. So
Yep, I saw that list. I saw that list. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really coll. Actually, I'll just do a little promo thing. Yeah, Paul's.
He loves Robbie from In the Esky, hey, like.
Yeah. Oh, he loves. He's done so much for, like, I can name probably 10 Brisbane bands that he puts on regular. But we love him even more now because he's putting us as the 7 Foot Sooks as the featured band for the Australia Day Invasion Day show that they do.
Magic.
Yeah, so we're stoked.
Yeah,
That's so good.
man.
Yeah.
What
So
are
he
you
was.
talking about fucking Square Tugs getting #1 again on the Triple Z?
Yeah, how good are that? Like,
Crazy.
yeah, they're like, they must write about 100 songs a year and throw out so many, and they recorded an album that's won't be coming out till April. But have you heard the album yet?
Parts of, because I'm doing a album review.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
But see,
When we get closer to the release date.
that confused me a little bit, right? Because 1 Minute Love Song's great, but I also they release two no shoes and two mobile phones.
Two phones.
I fucking love that song, and that came out. I'm like, how did I just don't? 1 Minute Love Song was so recently, and I'm like, how the fuck did they get to #1? Like, I thought there was other better songs that they had this year, but
I reckon the Owen Guns. I really do. I reckon the Owen Guns should have gotten in the top 10. KTO should have been in the top 10.
11. She got 11, so that was quite.
Yeah.
And one more. Billy they had a song.
Mad Government Weed.
Yeah,
41.
Wasn't that like 21 or something?
Yeah. Well, that's that. I mean, we that's it. Like, well, I put together this show like months ago, and we got 3 bands that are in the top 20 or 30 or the
top 50.
Yeah. And it was only I kind of had an idea to get a song for the in for the Hot 100, but I assumed it would go to the end of the year because we got the song. We released our single on the
27th
Boxing Day.
Oh, fuck.
So
Missed it by 3 months.
Yeah. We're hopeless.
I bought a bottle of champagne because I voted for Owen Guns, KTO, and the Square Tugs.
Yeah.
And every time one of the bands that I voted for got on, I'd have a go. I finished the bottle. I was stoked. Bottle of champagne.
Nice.
Like Lizzie and Mark are the most beautiful people, man. Like they cop me venting sometimes. I'll just get on. I'm fucking having a bad time, and she'll settle me down, or he'll settle me down, saying, "Matty, it's all right." Brilliant people, and they're your way.
They're way out west, man. They're Toowoomba. That's a mile away.
Yeah,
they are. Like we've played with them a couple of times.
We'd love to play in Toowoomba, but we got a little connect there as well.
But that's the thing.
Imagine playing in a place that's got 6 jails.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. You could do a Johnny Cash and play at one of the jails or something. I don't know.
Well, the ones they're doing a kind of punk rock festival in a brewery in
Nice proof.
Yeah. and that seems to be going really well for them. They're putting on some good shows.
What's the second? They've done one. There's a second
No,
one coming.
fourth,
Yeah.
they put on like little shows, just like 3 or 4, 2 or 3 bands.
Yeah.
But now they're doing a bigger one with it was Combi Killers. Have you've done Combi Killers? Yeah.
I haven't, no, but they're on the board. They're in the book.
Yeah, they're just great old school punk rock.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, Unsounded Vice are playing. They're a bit sort of more grunge rock punk sort of stuff.
A serial killer thing or not?
Yeah, I think so. Serial Killer Dinner Party.
Yeah, I've got them on. I've got them actually coming into the show about a month. I think February the 27th, maybe. I think.
Yeah. I think that's when the show is up on tour. But yeah, they're such a good band. They're so good. Yeah, there's professional bands and there's good time bands.
Or there's professional good time bands.
Yeah, hey. We're good at having a good time.
Oh my God. Yeah, fuck. Like, do you think about like fucking jumping into going down Sydney, play a fucking the bottle shop's just about to drop off some more alcohol. I've got to find some ID somewhere. Even though I look fucking old enough, but I think it's so they know that it's getting dropped off at the right place.
Yeah. Yeah, we're keen to tour. Like we're with this young fella Curly, he's organising a tour for Gudgeon in the next month or two, and so we're keen to look at it. It's hard for me because I'm not used to looking so far ahead. Like I'm getting organised that far, a couple of months ahead. But yeah, we're super keen. Like definitely we'll try and line something up.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Accommodation already covered.
Yeah. Well,
all you got to do is just get your asses down here, and everything else is just fucking covered.
Yeah, well, we'll work on it. Like we've got an idea to get down to Melbourne. Like we've got a few contacts down there and things. So, it's not like the old days where you can sort of, you can. Like I think Sydney's it's a bit easier because you've got Sydney and you can shoot down to Melbourne one weekend and come back, and then same for Brisbane. You can shoot up and do it. But yeah, like we're super keen to get out. Like I think that's one of the things that I find really interesting is people from your hometown, they're like, oh yeah, that's just you blokes getting around. But when you go to somewhere new, you got people that are like, oh, you guys have made the effort to come down. We're going to go and check you out. So
for sure. Well, we've got. I'm setting up a gig at down here in Wollongong and in Sydney with. You probably know who I'm talking about. The Combi Killers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's in June.
Right.
That'd be really, really mad if you guys could get down here and be on that bill.
Well, that's good. Yeah, well, it depends on dates because what are you doing the coaching?
June.
Fucking holidays.
Oh, okay.
June something.
Right.
Just trying to find my charger because this fucking phone's just about to. Yeah, fuck! I found it. Fucking kids, man. So, in the future, like in the near future, because I'm going to hassle my producer to put this out today. So yeah, what's happening with you guys in the next month?
Next month we got the second single and film clip.
Oh, sorry, man. I think this is the bottle dude. I won't be a sec, guys.
You're right.
So yeah, no, fucking 7-foot Sooks. I never, honestly, I will say I've never heard of you guys, and what I have heard of you guys now in the last couple of days, fucking yeah, I want you down here. I'd love to have you guys. It would be great.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, we're keen. We're you know, it's just I wonder how, you know, bands used to do it with like the Rifles with 5 guys in it, because we're flat out organising the 3 of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a single, you know, or release with a film clip coming out in on Australia Day, as it turns out.
Okay.
That's
This show also does album reviews.
Yeah.
I do album reviews, which is on another platform, like it's different on YouTube. So if you're keen for that when you get close to the date.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we've got we put out it's pretty much demos. There's some songs that are like, we recorded the same songs in a couple of different places, and so some of them, there's a real difference between the sound. But yeah, it's just a little EP. We're hoping, like, we probably, you know, aim to get something together by the end of the year. You know, get a few more songs written. Like, that's the biggest problem we've got at the moment, is we're just sort of, you know, we've got so much going on that it's hard to get in a room and sort out the new songs. So we've been playing the same songs for the last year or so, and I've got 5 or 6 songs, and Tony, man, he's so good at just writing really catchy little things, you know, like on the top of his head. It just shits me, but you know, it's real easy for him, whereas with me, I gotta, but it's not that I think about it too much. It's just they don't seem to be, you know, snapping out of it. But yeah, there's a few around. There's a few good songs we've got that we just haven't learnt together. And then once we get that, you know, we'll be firing again. There's some good shows. We've got a couple of shows coming up in February with Deadway and Agents of Strange, or another Gold Coast band, punk rock band that are really good. And then another show with Gudgeon up here in Nambour, and Viper Snatch at Mort's Brewery, which is it's a funny little room. It's a tiny little spot, but you know, I'm not the biggest fan of craft breweries, but this place, man, it's so good.
Excellent.
It's like,
and where's that?
Nambour. Nambour, yeah. Nambour's actually got 4 venues, now that I think about it.
Okay. Man.
Yeah, it's unreal. And yeah, and it's just a really good little scene. Like, it's the real, you know, like Aaron from Bad Habit had a Bad Habit Records. He grew up with that. Like, he was the little punk kid who couldn't get into shows and stuff like that, but he'd still go to the shows around outside, you know, selling homemade T-shirts. And you know, like, he's got the right idea. Like, it used to be, you know, what was happening, I don't know if it's the same down in Wollongong, but you get people to go to the council and say, look, there's nothing for the young people, let's put on a show. You know, you give me a grant for $5,000,
yeah,
and I'll put on a show. And they take the $5,000 and they pay themselves $1,000 a week for 4 weeks, and they you know, get some posters made up, and they get a venue, and they pay the bands, you know, $100 each or whatever, and that's it. As soon as the money's gone there, you don't see them again. Whereas Aaron's just going, well, you know, we haven't got any money, but let's just do it. So he started with doing these like skate rock shows in the local skate park with a you know, generator underneath a little awning, and the bands would play. You know, you'd have 4 bands, you'd have a skate comp in between bands, so, you know, like, there was no dead time. And the first one they had, like, the first one that I went to, which I think was the second one they put on, they had like 50 people. It was really cool. And they've just had the fifth or sixth one a couple of months ago now. They had like 400, 500 people, and they had bands. Yeah, they have bands coming from, like, they've had bands play from the UK, from Melbourne, Sydney, and all sorts of stuff. Like, there's a band called Henpeck who are like country, like down home, and the guitar.
Like Johnny's kind of thing?
No, more country than country rock sort of thing. But really good. Like, some of the best songwriting you will ever hear in your life. Like, it's so good. And Chris, the guitarist from Henpeck, is in another band called Aborto de Cristo, and they play like death, doom, sludge, just guitar and drums and Molly. Just like the complete opposite of country. It's just so good.
Definitely.
Hello, Molly. This is Molly.
What kind of dog is that, Staffy?
Yeah. This is the dog I say.
One of my little ugly fuckers.
Molly. Hello, Matt. Hello, Matt.
Why are you growling at me?
Say hello. Don't growl, you fuckwit. Say hello. Oh, now what's happening? Where's your mum? Still doctors.
Jeez, fucking stays an issue.
Where have you been? Riding a motorbike. Your motorbike's here. Yeah, I've got to wait for your mum to get home first. Because I've got to wait for you. She doesn't want me. She's rang and said, "You're not allowed to go motorbike riding till I get home because your dad's a cunt and lets you do shit." Right out the back so you don't fuck my lawn. Anyway, I don't know. Ring her. I can't. She blocked me. And my wife blocked me. But I can't. Anyway, you do covers?
Yeah, we do a couple. Only one of them's been recognised, which we're pretty happy about.
Yeah.
Which is a Wipers cover. They're one of those bands that just very much, keep it simple structures, but just great song. Really feels good to play. And then there's another one that we're like, I've always promised that I would buy a beer for the first person who recognised the cover, and so I've done that for the Wipers. So Jared, well done. And the person who recognises the other one, I'll buy them a beer as well. But nobody's got it. So it's an old American. Not old. They're still going as far as I know, but they were classic band, very very much related to Zeke and Super Suckers and that sort of
face to face.
Yeah, no. You won't get it out of me. You'll have to come and see the show, and if you can win a free beer.
I'll get it out of you when you get down to Wollongong. Can I hear that song somewhere on any platform?
No, we haven't recorded that one yet. It's actually, I don't think Mark knows this, but a friend of mine who lives in Sydney, we used to drive around in this car going to, stupid things, and this is one of the songs that we used to play, and so she'll know it. She'll be the only one who knows it. So, Monkey Girl, if you're out there, you know the song.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. I just got to shut the door.
Nah, do what you got to do. As long as somebody's got to do some work editing, I'm happy.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, so cool. Cool. We'll get you down to Sydney and Wollongong soon, hopefully. Oh, June soon.
That's not the year.
Yeah, we'd love to play. Like, we haven't actually played a show with Combi Killers, but their drummer Dave is an old. He used to live up here on the Sunshine Coast. He used to be on my postie run.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Oh man, he is such an amazing human being to start with.
Yeah, exactly. Not
I
just an amazing musician, he's an amazing person.
Yeah, I had a mate who had a lawn mowing business, and he had to have a month or so off because he did something to his eye and couldn't mow, but he still needed to, get someone to do the work. So Dave filled in for him for a month, and those two became really good mates. And so whenever I see either of them, I said, "Oh, man, so glad you got me together with Cam and Cam says, I'm so glad you got me together with Dave." It's yeah. I'm just a facilitator.
Yeah. So what's the scene like up there at the moment?
There's a heap of bands. There's a heap of really good bands. It's just a bit tricky trying to find venues that are the right kind of venues. And there's some good ones. We lost King Lear's Throne and Bad Luck, which is horrible because they were really supportive of the punk rock.
All the iconic venues are shutting down.
Yeah.
Playing the Patch.
Yeah.
Fucking Jet Club, Bombay Rock. Oh, we've just had this conversation. They're like, I don't know. I don't understand why they take away venues.
Yeah, it's just a balance between getting enough money into like the good venues are in a place that's popular, and they're the ones that have the higher rent. So you've got to have something going on every day of the week that's bringing in enough money to cover it. There's a few places now that are playing if bands can play, but they've got to put money up front, like a couple of $100 up front.
Yeah, I've heard this shit. Fuck.
Yeah. And then
you pay us to play.
Yeah. And I kind of get that, but it depends. Like we played a place with a young band a month or two back, and they were keen to have us on, and it was their gig. But it just wasn't the right venue, and we couldn't get our crowd because there were two other big shows in Brisbane that night. So it's just and you understand why the venues have got to do it. Like if they're going to open up the room and those sort of things, and but there's like you said, like in Nambour, it's fantastic. There's a whole heap of venues. There's a whole heap of people that are putting it on. We're hoping to get there's the place we used to play up here in Noosa Junction. If we can, get things happening there again, that'd be good. But yeah, there's such a good community. Like you say, like Mike and Lizzie from KTO and the Square Tugs and One More Billy and Gudgeon and Goose Goods down the coast, Agents of Strange, Deadway, Unsound Advice. There's
Mark's the legend.
There's so many good people that you get to meet that are it's just really hard. Like when you want to put on a show, you feel bad because you put 4 bands on and they're all your mates. You all want to play with them, and
you still got mates that you could have put on.
Yeah, like the other day, what was it? I had, this show we had a band had to pull out like a week or two back, and it was like, put the word out, and bands that would normally be jumping all over you to play, like, oh yeah, I've got a mate overseas, or I've got, this we can't do it, and we got a fantastic band. Have you heard of Ketamine Cowboys?
Yes.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And what are they like live?
Awesome. Yeah, they are a show. Yeah, you don't want to be up the front.
A G.G. Allen gig, is it?
No, they're just audience interaction. They got some just songs that they just sing at people. Stumpy's got a 40-foot microphone cord, So
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he will go right up and he'll be singing in your face and
Yeah.
and it's
Actually, Sean from the Owen Guns does the same thing,
right.
but,
Yeah,
but he'll stick the microphone in your face, and 80% of the people don't know what the line is that they're supposed to sing, and it's just like,
yeah.
I
Well,
saw
Stumpy's.
him one time. He jumped off the stage. Have you seen the Owen Guns at all?
I haven't seen him live, but I've seen a lot of video. I watched a lot
Yeah,
of video.
well, Sean's got a big fat gut,
Mm.
and fuck, when he jumps off the stage and starts singing, he bounces like 2 or 3 people across the room. Just a boom, boom. It's that's who you're going to play with when you come down in June.
Yeah.
You're going to play with the Owen Guns.
Sweet.
Nice. That's awesome.
I like how we booked him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Sean's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is. This show would not have happened without him.
Yeah.
The Australian punk site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I daily put on a song. I downloaded a song on that, and I downloaded "Pulling on the Boots" from the Romper Stomper soundtrack.
Yeah.
And bang, he's going, "You racist motherfucker!" Blah 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 blah. Oh fuck! What have I done? Blah blah blah. And it didn't even work. My wife's an Aboriginal. Oh blah 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 blah. And they ended up doing "Pulling on the Boots," but they called it "Pulling on the Slippers," and it was an anti-skinhead song.
Yeah.
It made it to, I think, 32 the year before last on the Triple Z market, Triple Z Top 100.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how we met, and we've just not stopped. Like, he's a legend, man. And you play with these guys, you'll have the fucking time of your life, man.
Yeah, no, I've seen because he does a video interview show as well.
Yeah.
I've seen
You've
him.
seen the one with Blackie, Peter Black?
I haven't seen that one. I might have seen the one with Ray though. With
Well,
Ray.
I've got Blackie on the list in the interview. I think it's March.
Yeah, right.
And I want to ask him a question that Sean didn't ask him, and that's, would you let your kids listen to early Hard-On's music, or you have, I don't know, because Kesh got done for fucking sexual assault and all this bullshit, so they fucked him off. And I think he must have been the main songwriter, because none of their songs now are about suck and swallow, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They're like, their first 4 albums were Snoop Dogg bullshit, you know, that like fucking
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
yeah.
some stuff. I know they used to write songs like on a 4-track. They each had a 4-track, and they'd all sort of record ideas and take them into the band and do them. But I also know now that Blackie writes, you know, 1 million songs. Like,
Yeah.
he's just an animal.
He's a legend, man. I saw them one time up your way, well, near your way, at West Football Club, New Year's Eve 1986, I think it was. It was
West or
with
East?
and the Bad Ronalds.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that East Rugby League club?
Oh, this kid, man. Wait a sec.
Yeah.
I'm gonna knock him out. Fucking all I can hear is motorbike. Oi! Stop it!
Yeah.
No, it doesn't burn out instead. Shit.
He's not listening.
And I can't even shut the window. What the fuck's going on here? Anyway, yeah. No,
Yeah.
fucking the punk scene. I don't know about you, but I grew up 82 something. It was my first punk show, I think. would have been. And that was I Spit on Your Gravy. Yeah, I Spit on Your Gravy. And he was back in the Thrust.
Yeah.
It was at the playroom. I was 14 and I got into the fucking playroom. And yeah, it's fucking that. If you can understand what I'm trying to say is the 80s Australian punk fucking was the best. The best. The 2000s, they're getting back into it and we're getting some good shit. But the 90s was just fucking putrid, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got broken into and I had like fucking what do you call them? Milk crates full of Aussie punk records. And someone broke into the house, didn't steal them. They broke them in half.
Yeah.
Like over 400 fucking albums, man. And obviously a disgruntled fucking ex or something, I don't know. But oh shit, the wife's home. Here we go. Now you're gonna hear noise. Yeah. Fucking, and it was like, what happened to the 90s? We got Grinspoon. We got fucking, okay, Toe are pretty cool. We got, what are you doing? What the fuck is there so many people in my house for? Anyway, I could talk to you guys for like another 3.5 hours. But thank you so much for fucking doing this, man. I so much appreciate it. Blessed. You guys have been fucking amazing. Thank you very much. And when you hear recording stopped, I'll just have a word with you afterwards. Thank you guys. You guys have been brilliant. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.